My name is Preston. I'm just going to talk a little bit about one of the best things a homeowner can do for their lawn, and it's to fertilize in the fall. Lots of times in the fall, you're done with your lawn, you're ready for winter, and you forget to fertilize, but this is one of the most crucial times to fertilize your lawn, because as you add the nitrogen and the extra nutrients into the soil, it'll allow the grass to grow roots and carbohydrates down in the soil and prepare it for winter. This will lead for a healthy grass in the spring, which will green up faster in the spring and will just overall help out the health of your grass and soil. Right here, I've got a bag of fertilizer. It's a fall blend of fertilizer. So a company went through the work of already kind of mixing fall blend, what's good for grass in the fall. Most people buy too much. You actually only need a little bit, and the bags will tell you how much you need on the back. So just whichever bag of fertilizer you get, check the back and see how much area it will cover, and then follow the directions on the back for what spreader you're using to set your spreader to the correct settings and get the correct amount of nutrients to your grass. All right, so this bag of fertilizer says that for the Scott's Elite spreader, you set the setting to 7. So I've already done that. Now it's time to put the fertilizer into the spreader. And to do this, you want to make sure you're not on the grass. You want to be on some cement or something that won't die if you spill. If you spill fertilizer in high concentrations onto the grass, it will kill your turf. Now this bag should cover all of this lawn, and I should have a little bit left over at the end of this application, and that's a good way to tell if you're using the right setting, if the spreader is working correctly. If you go by how the bag says and you have not enough, that means it's probably spreading too much, and there might be something wrong with your spreader. But if you use the whole bag and it's just a little bit left over, just like my math says it should be, then that means that the spreader is working perfect at the end of the day. And so next time you won't have any issues. Now lots of spreaders come with a guard or some kind of a way that it will throw only one direction. That way when you're going along the edges of your yard, you're not going to be throwing extra fertilizer in places that you don't want it. So right now my guard is on, so I'm going to start with this edge and kind of go around, and then as I come back I can take the guard off and spread the full throw distance. But yeah, that way you make sure you don't use too much fertilizer and you don't run out. All right, so this thing's got a handle right here. When you pull the handle up, it will open up the gates at the bottom and the fertilizer will start falling out. And the way it works is when the wheels are spinning, the rest of the spreader will throw the fertilizer the way it's intended to. But if you open this fertilizer up, the gates up without moving, then the fertilizer will start emptying out and it's not going to be throwing, it's all going to fall into the same spot, and that also can cause the grass to die. So make sure that when you start fertilizing, you start with the moving and then pull on the handle so that you avoid killing any grass. Alright, so now I've done around the edges. I've turned the side guard off, so it's going to make a full throw now. The way to continue is to space out. The throw says it's about 6 feet on this particular spreader. So we did about 3 feet on the left side, so I'm going to step out about 6 feet from where I was last time so that it will overlap a little bit. So it's about 3 feet on each side. So if you add the 3 feet and then the 3 feet, that's why I stepped away 6 feet from my last spot. And it's okay if you ever overlap a little bit extra. Usually the rates that they're telling you to put down is not enough to harm the grass, so don't worry if you overlap a little bit extra in one spot or another. All right, now that you're done with fertilizing the lawn, an important thing to do is to take a broom or a leaf blower and blow off all the fertilizer that might have hit any concrete. That way, if water falls on it, it's not going to stain the concrete with iron. It's pretty hard to get rid of, and it doesn't look super good. So make sure you blow off the concrete or sweep it off, and that way you can keep your concrete looking nice. All right, now you've fertilized your lawn, you're all done, you've cleaned up the sidewalks, and you're ready to water it in. So after you fertilize your lawn, it's important to water it in. Just run each of your zones for a few minutes and allow that fertilizer to start sinking into the ground.